Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. I want to talk about Normani and the music that she will be releasing this year. She actually teased a snippet of her new single and a lot of her fans were very excited, and she also let people know that she's not going to prolong the release of her single like she did with her previous single, Wild Side. Somebody tweeted this and said, last time she teased new music, we had to wait 5 months. We better not be waiting 5 months. Normani replied and said, nah, we ain't doing that. She also said the best is yet to come, and she retweeted this tweet saying 2022 has a name and is Normani. So Normani is letting people know that she is coming, and I'm excited because y'all know I am a Normani fan. I loved her last single, Wild Side. The video was one of the best videos of the year. The choreography was top tier. The song was just a vibe. I never got tired of it, and she just did her thing. She came back after a 2-year hiatus and dropped one of the hottest R&B songs of 2021. And the song did go platinum. So as you could see, Wild Side did exactly what it needed to do. It sold well, it performed well on radio, and it also went viral on TikTok. It did good considering some of the setbacks Normani had. Now, her label wasn't exactly convinced that she should have even released Wild Side. Wild Side was an unlikely single coming from Normani because it was more of a slow, moderate tempo R&B song. Some people thought it would have made sense for her to release an up-tempo pop song like her single Motivation, but no, she decided to lead with an R&B song. Both her and the songwriter Stara, who wrote Wild Side, kind of thought this would be a good single for her to lead with, but her label wasn't convinced that it would be the right single to release. And Normani said she had to convince them, and she had to invest a lot of money in the single. She invested money in her music video, and the music video was very expensive.
There's a lot that I had to
You had to put up some money for
invest
it?
my own.
That's right.
Yeah,
Invest.
music video.
invest.
Yeah. Oh wow. Alone, but I believe in.
So
what
it's
I'm
over $1
doing
million
and-
budget, huh? That's crazy.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So you heard that. Normani had to pay a lot of money, and they say that the budget was over $1 million. So she had to invest in herself because the label wasn't going to do it. But luckily for her, her investment did pay off, and also she secured a feature from Cardi B, which did help bring the single traction. So everything worked out for Normani in that sense. And more importantly, she proved to her label RCA that she's worth the investment. So that's a good thing. And I do hope her next single is a success as well. I hope she performs more. I hope she promotes her single more. And I just want her to release more music. At this point, I'm ready for the album. And since we're on the topic of her music, I want to talk a little bit about some of the delays, because I do think a lot of people are wondering, why is it taking her so long to release music? I don't think that she's intentionally trying to make people wait. I think there might be some factors behind the scenes that she can't really speak on, but I can go by what she said in her interviews. Now, in one of her interviews that she did with Just Curious Poe, she did admit that she sometimes gets in her own way. And that could be one of the reasons why she's been taking longer to release her music.
Right. I think it's just remembering, and sometimes it's hard. You know, there's been so many times throughout this process. Like I said, I've been working on this project for about 2 years. A part of it is me getting in my own way. And just what you said, like me being very, very critical of myself. Like I've been sitting on, I have probably 2-3 albums worth of music.
So from there, you heard that Normani has recorded a lot of music, but the process of her putting out an album has been taking her longer because she's kind of overcritical of herself. And that's something that she has been working through. Also, there's been a lot of pressure on her, and sometimes that pressure can do more harm than good. I was even one of the people who put a lot of pressure on her when she first went solo, and my intentions weren't bad because I was hyping her up. I was saying she's the next big thing, and I still believe that, but that is a lot of pressure to put on somebody who's just entering their solo career. Normani had just come out of a girl group called Fifth Harmony, and around that time she was finding herself, she was finding her sound, she was finding out what type of artist she wanted to be. And out the gate, we're all saying, okay, she's going to be the next big superstar. She's going to do this and that. Sometimes we have to give an artist some time to develop and come into their own before putting all of these high expectations on them.
I personally have felt the pressures of feeling like I had to be perfect, you know? That's why I put so much pressure on myself, and I've created in my mind like this perfect idea. I'm like, no, if it's not this, then it's gonna give them opportunity to like write me off, or, you know, to scrutinize and like tear me apart. In the beginning of my album process, to be completely honest, like creatively, I don't think that I was enjoying the process as much as I could have, because I'm like, okay, I have to check off this box, I have to check off this box. Like it just became a lot, you know?
So as you could hear, Normani has been dealing with having to live up to the pressure that people have placed on her. And Normani's not the only artist in the industry who goes through this. There are so many artists who have similar stories, but there aren't a lot of artists who have to deal with these high expectations out the gate. A lot of times the expectations come later on in their career, but for Normani, she's still technically a new artist. She hasn't dropped an official album yet, but people are already putting all of these unrealistic expectations on her. And I think a lot of the expectation stems from the fact that people are very interested in seeing Normani be the face of dark-skinned women in pop music, and they want Normani to be perfect all the time. And if she doesn't sing a certain way or look a certain way or act a certain way, people will say, well, she's not a star. She doesn't have what it takes. She doesn't want it. She can't do this. She can't do that. That's what happens to her. If she doesn't live up to these unrealistic expectations, people become very, very critical of her. It's like she can't make any mistakes, and it's kind of weird. Also, I noticed Normani has been getting a lot of criticism for not being as active on social media. A lot of people feel like she has no personality, she's boring, she doesn't do enough to show her life, she doesn't put herself out there enough. And some of those critiques are valid. I mean, every artist needs to put themselves out there to promote themselves, but are we more interested in personality or music? That's the real question here. I think the music is more important than personality. And while I do think it will be helpful for Normani to put herself more out there, I understand why she doesn't. Now, for those who don't know, when she was in Fifth Harmony, she was actually the target of racial bullying, and it made her not even want to interact with people because the fandom was so toxic.
I went through a very traumatic experience. I was bullied online for the color of my skin a few summers ago when I was actually in the group, and it was one of the darkest times in my life. It was really, really tough. Like, you know, I saw
what the heck
disturbing images of me being lynched, and it was crazy. So
yeah,
I know that people, you know, often say, oh, she's like very shy, why isn't she more active? It's not because I don't want to be. I want to be so badly, but I think that those traumatic experiences for me, and I'm not even trying to like, you know, get sympathy or anything, but it's kind of emotionally forced me to detach,
of course,
from even wanting to, you know, be a part of that, because it's done me so wrong. But
yeah,
I also know that I don't deserve that, and like my fans deserve to, you know, get more of me, but I'm like still working through that.
Another thing that Normani has had to deal with as well is being constantly compared to already established music artists. That has also put a lot of pressure on her and even drawn in a lot of scrutiny. And I mean unnecessary scrutiny and comparisons that she didn't ask for.
For me, like I said, being compared to artists who have been in this game for 15 to 20 years, like that is a compliment to me. That is the ultimate. Like the people that I've grown up being inspired by, like it's thank you. Like I'm appreciative. And that is every artist's dream, like, you know, for people to see that potential in you. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side of that is responsibility, and it is pressure to have to rise to the occasion. you know, and I've never ever said or compared myself. You know, the world has always done that and put that on me, but I've never compared myself to any other artist because at the end of the day, like I want to be the best version of myself. I can't be the second Aaliyah. I can't be the second Sierra. I can't be the second B. You know, like I can only be the first Normani and do that the very best to my ability because I'm never going to be Beyonce better than Beyonce can be Beyonce or Rihanna better than Rihanna can be Rihanna, you know? Like my only objective and my only responsibility is to be the best version of myself. You know, I feel like people put me on a pedestal. I have insecurities and just things that I'm working through and up against as well. But I believe in myself. I really, really do believe in myself. And I know the plans that God has over my life. I know that this is my calling. This is where my purpose lies. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. This is where I'm supposed to be. You know, this is the mission, and I know that I want to complete the assignment for His glory.
I'm glad that Normani is now in the mind frame where she is focusing on being her best self and doing what she's supposed to do instead of allowing herself to be pressured to follow other people's standard. And I think that's a great attitude to have going into her debut era. I think she's now at a point where she's a little bit more confident in who she is as an artist. And it was very necessary for her to take that hiatus to find herself, because if she didn't have that time to find herself as an artist, or if she pumped out music just to take advantage of her hype, she wouldn't have been able to be the best artist she can be. So even though her process might be a little slower than some, I do think it's going to pay off in the end. And I do think she's going to deliver some of her best work. Anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.